trouble here. Let's see if I can hear me through here. Check. No. All right, I might need Henry. We'll see what's going on already. We're already having trouble. All right, let's see. Got that up, that's up. There we go. Yep, we're live. Sorry. All right, I'm not too good at doing the board. Usually I have Henry, but I think we're fine now. Is that right, Henry? Did I get this done okay? Want to make sure.
Yeah. Both of them at 3 o'clock.
Both of them at 3 o'clock. You got it.
You're at 2.
Oh, there you go. How's that?
Next and 3.
3.
Bottom
Okay.
3.
Both of them at 3. There we go. Got it.
And your lights down there are controlling your headsets.
Okay, got it. Thank you. All right, we are live right here on KUHSdenver.com, the stream. And I have some very special guests. This is Rhonda Shea, and you're listening to the WTF show. And I have some very, very special guests with me. I have RF Daly and Nancy Daly. Now, I'm going to call RF Bob because I have known Bob since I was 15. Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Hi. There we go.
Yes, we can. We can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure. So, and RF and Nancy have been involved in the entertainment industry since, well, I don't know, ever since I knew Bob. He was on stage at Arvada West High School. We all went to school together. And I know ever since he married Nancy, I know she's been performing consistently. And so we're going to talk to them about being on Broadway, performing on Broadway. Nancy has performed at the Waldorf Astoria, the Beverly Hills Hilton. She is a featured entertainer at some of the best venues in the country, playing her wonderful piano and singing. And Bob has been in, I saw him in Cats, and I got to see him in Chess. And so I've seen you in 2 of your professional performances, and they were great, just like the high school ones were. So, welcome, guys.
You're too kind.
Oh, I'm not too kind. It's very true. You know, and I will have to disclaim this, that I know Bob's family since I was a young kid, and his sister, Debbie, is one of my dearest and longtime friends. And so, you know, to me, he's just Bob, Debbie's big brother. But to everybody else, he's RF Daly, the famous, the infamous, the somethingness. So tell me, guys, I just...
Yes, actually, my friends... most of my, I know where I know my friends from by what they call me. If I work with them, they call me RF, and if we're just pals, they all call me Bob.
Yeah, that's probably the way it goes, isn't it? Well, I think you've had an incredible, both of you have had an incredible career, because one of the things, and by the way, your entire family is talented. I loved the Dalys. Going to the Dalys was, first of all, like going to a circus, because they were all a bunch of nuts. But secondly, and your parents, oh, what lovely people. They were truly 2 of the most incredible people I ever knew. And but what I'll say is that the whole family is pretty talented. But Bob and Steve, your younger brother Steve and his wife, and you and Nancy are the ones that actually went and on to perform on Broadway and to do many, many things in the entertainment business. And I'm going to ask you a kind of a pointed question here for both you and Nancy. There are so many talented people out there, and I have seen some that my jaw drops, but they never make it. They don't get beyond a certain level. How did you break through to become really, for all those decades, to perform consistently is just an amazing thing in the entertainment business. How did you guys do that?
Nancy?
Well, I think it's what we had to do. It was our passion. So if we didn't do it, we would have been miserable. I know. I think you feel the same. Yeah.
I do.
It's just something we had to do. So when I was 19, 20, I said...
That's not 1920. That's actually 19 or 20, just to clarify.
I'm not that old.
I have gray hair, but it's not that.
When I was about 20, I was at Indiana University, and I was in a group called the Bells of Indiana. And I loved singing so much, and I met all these talented musicians, and so we started performing professionally at the age of 20.
Wow. Well, I know, Bob,
and it was great.
You performed here at Heritage Square, isn't that right? And a number of places before
Yes, before that, actually, when I was in college, I went to, there was a little dinner theater in Greeley called the Chuckwagon Dinner Theater. And I had never done a musical before. And so my first professional show was West Side Story, and I was the shark that looked suspiciously Irish.
Well, I mean, that's funny. And I remember when you opened your mouth to sing, because Debbie came to me and she said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "Bobby can sing." I said, "What are you talking about?" Because you'd never sang. And it's like you just opened your mouth and this incredible voice just poured out. We were all like, "What? So, and I remember.
I was
the
afraid to
virtual-
sing in front of people.
Yeah, I bet that was kind of different at first, you know, it was hard. I think, summing up the courage, do you guys get stage fright still, even after all these years?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it helps you if it's not too bad, if it's not crippling. I think it gives you that extra edge, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an announcement to my Facebook, people that are on Facebook, there's quite a few on here. And I want you to know that if you're having trouble hearing, because it's not the direct feed when you're going on my Facebook feed, then you should go to kuhsdenver.com and listen to it through the official feed of the station. Either you can do the same thing either through radio or through the visual piece, just in case you're having some trouble. And I see Dana is on. Hi, Dana. And you've got all kinds of folks on here from Arvada West, so they're all, Bob is.
Is that Dana Brenzel?
Yep. Dana, Bob said hi. And
Is she one of your girlfriends?
no, he's a guy. He's a guy.
Oh,
I'm telling you, the girls did love Bob. They certainly did. They all loved Bob. And like
that's
I said,
what I realized.
yes, you should realize it. They all had a crush on Bob. I didn't, like I said, because I spent so much time with Debbie that he was like another brother, and I saw the torture he put those girls through.
No one ever said anything to me at the time, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Can I address something?
Sure.
You were talking about stage fright earlier.
Yes.
And I have an anecdote from my career and my family. My son, John, our son, John, and I were in the Who's Tommy when we were in Germany. Actually, we were in the national tour here in the United States, and he was 10 years old, and he hadn't gone on yet. And they said it's time for him to go on. And he was very, very scared. In fact, he even said that, maybe we'll let Brett go on, just for this one, and I'll be ready tomorrow. I said, listen, the whole thing about stage fright is, the butterflies you're feeling in your stomach, that comes from adrenaline. That's all it is. It's a physical thing, that weird feeling. And we get adrenaline when we need to have extra strength. That's how grandmothers are able to lift a car off of their grandson. And so, actually, when you've got stage fright, you're superhuman. All you have to do is breathe. And if you breathe, you can get through it. And he said, okay. And then he went on. I was on the opposite side of the stage when he made the light came up on him. And I just started crying immediately, of course. And from that second forward, I don't think he ever had a moment of stage fright.
That was beautiful. And your son has gone on to do many, many things. I mean, I remember seeing him in Freaks and Geeks. He was on the Gina Davis show. He's been in Bones. He was a regular on Bones. He was, what was it, Squints? Is that what he was?
Dr. Sweets.
The Sweets, that's it,
He
yeah,
was a psychologist.
That's right, he was the
for
psychologist.
FBI.
And he's gone on to write Horrible Bosses, for being in that show. I followed his career. He was in Waiting. He rewrote, even though he didn't get credit, he rewrote Vacation. And directed that, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a very talented young man, and it doesn't surprise me because two talented parents. And I think sometimes that when you have two parents in the field, they learn the ropes a little bit, so their kid's able to kind of have a leg up as they go into it. Is that true?
It helps.
Yes.
Yeah. So why don't we do this? We're going to come back and talk to you guys about some more, because I want to find out what you're doing today. And I know, Nancy, you have written a book that's phenomenal, and there's some other incredible things going on in your life. But why don't we just take a quick break and first of all, what shows? I know you've been in a number of them, but because I know I saw you in Cats and Chess. But what other shows have you been in on Broadway, Bob? And then we'll ask Nancy the same thing. And then Nancy performed at the some of the places I want to talk about that you performed. And then I'd like you to perform a song, if you don't mind. So, Robert?
Cool. Okay, so I was working in Chicago when I was cast in the first national tour of Cats. We did that for almost 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. Then we moved to New York, and 6 weeks later, I was cast in Chess, the premiere of Chess. And then I did Aspects of Love, the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, and Guys and Dolls, the big one with Nathan Lane and
Wow.
Faith Prince.
Wow.
And I did Sweeney Todd.
Oh, yeah, that was a big one.
Sweeney Todd
Yeah.
briefly on Broadway. And the last one I did, and then my son and I did the tour of the Who's Tommy, both in the United States and in Germany. And then the last one I did was the Scarlet Pimpernel.
Yep. Oh, somebody's up here adding all the stuff you've done. They're typing it in. So somebody's a big follower of your career, because I can see them on my Facebook page typing in all the things that you've been in. So RF Daily. Okay, Nancy, I know you've done more than that, but I'm gonna jump over to Nancy. I know you have performed and consistently were the pianist and entertainment vocalist at the Waldorf Astoria in New York, Hotel Zurich, correct?
I was at about 6 or 7 in New York, and I did a one-woman show, and then I did a 3-woman show called Hot Mamas, which Bob and I wrote together. And we did that, and it's about women going through change.
Oh my goodness.
Not necessarily the change, but change. And I did that with wonderful friends of mine in New York and here in California, too.
Well, I've got a lady named Wendy on here, and she said she was your agent. So she's watching.
My
My agent,
goodness.
yeah. Wendy
Hi,
Lipsky.
Wendy.
She's awesome.
You've done a good job, because he's been on a lot of stuff. And Nancy, I know that you,
Absolutely.
now did you perform on Broadway, or were you an entertainer more in the New York night scene?
New York nightclub scene.
That's what I thought.
And restaurants and major hotels.
Well, I know
And
you.
I went to Switzerland and I performed there, and yeah, a lot of
And the
stuff.
Beverly Hills, Hilton too, right? I think you've done.
Yes.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Hotel.
And the Renaissance Hotel. And
Well, you guys are both very, very talented, and we're very honored to have you on the show, and
Thank you.
and it's nice to see you. And every time we run into each other, it's at a class reunion or a funeral or something, and we never really get to chat, so it was really nice to see you, and sometimes at Christmas. But anyway, I want you to, if it's okay with you guys, why don't you sing us a song, and then we'll go back to the interview. Can you do that, you think?
why don't you start?
Okay. I'm going to sing,
Or Pretty Woman.
RF
okay,
Daily.
I'm going to sing,
Okay.
this is a song from Camelot. The last time I played the role of Lancelot was at Boulder's Dinner Theater.
Wow.
Wow.
If ever I would leave you, how could it be in summer? Say you in summer, I never could go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts gold to shame. But if I ever leave you, how could it be in autumn? Seeing you in autumn, I never could go. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. Or could I leave you running merrily through the snow? Or on a way dreaming when you catch the fire's glow? If ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime? Knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so. No, not in springtime, summer, winter, for both. No, never could I leave you.
That was beautiful. I'm always amazed, because like we all knew, it was so weird when I never forget when Debbie called and said, "Bob can sing." We're all like, "He can?" And he sure as hell can. Well, you know, some of the best memories I have, and I'm gonna make sure I'm not doing too much reverb in here, so let me just check this a little bit, turn it down some. There we
I
go.
hope you could hear it all right.
Yeah, you could, and through the radio feed, it's really good. It's a little funny when we're doing it this way with the Facebook, so it may be, a couple of times it glitched, but I think the song and the quality of your voice was phenomenal, of course. I have a person here that said, "What a voice." So someone sent a text and said, "What a voice." But some of the things that I remember the most about growing up with the Dailies, I'll say, growing up with the Dailies was, my mother and I would, it was just my mother and I, and on Christmas Eve, a lot of times we would go over to the Daily family, because they had 7 of them, and Bob was right in the middle. And I think that's why you became an actor, because you had to find some way to get attention with all those brothers and sisters that were nuts. And your folks, I mean, they truly, I could never say enough nice things about Basil and Lois. And one of my fondest memories at your home, and you've probably heard this, was when I was at your house, and you know, I made it like it was my house. I was there all the time. And the phone rang, and Debbie and I were in the kitchen. I picked up the phone, and you know, you call people's parents like Mr. and Mrs. You didn't know their name. And someone said, "Is Lois there?" And I thought Lois was a really dumb name. And I said, "Lois? Who the hell is Lois?" Click. And they said, "Who was that?" I said, "Oh, somebody wanted a Lois. I don't know who the hell Lois is." And your mom, your quiet little mom in her own little way, looks at me and says, "That would be me." And I went, "Oh." I just hung up. And I still remember that this day. Debbie and I still laugh about it. But she was so quiet, she never said a word, just let me make a total ass of myself, and then she just looked at me and said, "That would be me."
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's my mom.
Yeah, it was. She was used to a bunch of nutty kids, so she was just like, that would be me, Rhonda, you just hung up on my friend. Oh. Anyway, back to you guys. I know you're working on writing a musical right now, is that correct? Is that, I think Nancy had mentioned that. So tell us a little bit about the musical you're working on. A couple of them, tell us about it.
Well, we just finished editing a musical called Wonderful, which is based on the diaries of me and my mom, fictional diaries, but loosely based on truth.
Okay.
And her battle with Alzheimer's and our relationship. So it's a two-person musical, and I am playing my mother, and a really good, terrific performer, Kelly Myersfield, is playing me. And we will be doing it as soon as this pandemic.
We were actually scheduled to do it on the April 25th.
Oh, okay. And where are you going to be performing?
That went by the wayside.
And what's
We'll
the
do it again.
Oh, good, good. You have to let us know, because we'll promote it so people can tune in if there's a way, or, you know, let them know. We have people from all over the country and all over the world that tune into the show, usually from Italy, from Russia. Oh, Russia. Oh, no. They're looking to interfere with the election. No. And we have them from...
They just want to put in their 2 cents.
Oh, that's good. And Boris and Natasha love us from Russia. But anyway, all over the country as well. So we appreciate it. We have a lot of people from California that tune in every day, you know, too, as well. So it's kind of fun. The station's been, just so you know, they're one of the oldest streaming stations in the country, so it's got quite a big audience. So we thank you for being on the show. In case you've just tuned in, I'm Rhonda Shea, and you're listening to the WTF on KUHSdenver.com. My guests today are R.F. Daly and Nancy Daly, and they are a husband and wife duo, and they are just incredible, both very, very talented singers and performers and authors and writers and all kinds of cool stuff, and that's what we're talking about. So what I wanted to do is ask you a question. What is the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you on stage? And I'll start with Nancy, and then Nancy looks like she's never had anything embarrassing happen, but we'll find out.
Oh, yes. Okay, I think this might be it. I was in one of my first professional shows. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Yeah, I love that
and
show.
I played Flora. I played a virgin, and one of my lines was, "But hero, I am a virgin." And everybody in the audience watching burst out laughing, because I was 24 years old and I was not a virgin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny.
That was pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, there's some of those things, I bet. How about, like, you ever kiss anybody you didn't want to kiss on stage?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be hard.
Me,
Like,
for example.
No.
Bob, she kisses Bob every day. She doesn't want to kiss him. No.
Yeah.
No. And Bob, how about you? What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened to you on stage?
Oh man, this is I may break down crying about this.
Oh.
Not actually. Actually, we were doing Cats in San Francisco at the Golden Gate Theater, and I had gone on set many times, but at the very end of the show, there's a song called "The Addressing of Cats." And old Deuteronomy, the character that I played, is on this massive tire, and he brings Grisabella up to the Heaviside layer. It's all very spiritual and mystical. And then he kind of closes the show by addressing the audience about how they should talk to cats. Everything's great. The whole cast is arrayed before me on the stage. I'm about 15 feet in the air, standing on this
I remember that scene.
And the lights were the brightest lights I've ever seen in my life. And I started singing the song, and everything was going just great. And then I went up, meaning I forgot the lyrics.
Oh, dear.
And so it's T.S. Eliot's words, so who cares what you say? So I made up a lot of words for a while. And I thought, I got this, it's okay. And the cast were down there just shaking with laughter as they're facing upstage, looking at me on this tire. And then I thought it was time to go into the bridge, and I did, and it wasn't time to go into the bridge.
Oh, God. So you was on key and everything.
It couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been worse. And half of the cast turned downstage, half of the cast stayed upstage. Finally, our stage manager, a guy named Dan Hild, who was in the booth, which was not too far from me, fortunately, yelled out a lyric. All I needed was one word. I got the word and finished the song just fine. And then the curtain call came, and I was, if I had a tail, well, I did have a tail. I went to my dressing room with my fake tail between my legs. And when I got there, someone had placed a glass of scotch on my dressing table.
Yeah, they knew you were
And
going
it
to
turned
need it.
out, as it happens, I was mortified, but I found out later that the guy that originated the show on Broadway, he went up at the same time, only he never recovered. He just howled and meowed for the rest of the song.
Oh, God.
And that was my most embarrassing onstage moment. Thank you very much.
There you go. See, we just have to ask that. So tell us a little bit about your book, Nancy. I know you have a book that you just published. Would you tell, or you are publishing, is that correct?
It was published a few years ago.
Mhm.
It's called Live in Your Happy Place.
Live in Your Happy
And
Place. I'm
it's
going to repeat
a-
that. Okay.
Live in Your
Live-
Happy Place.
Okay. And it's by Nancy
And
Daly,
it's-
D-A-L-E-Y. I'm giving you a shameless plug here. Live in Your Happy
And
Place.
thank you.
And where's it
You
at?
can get
Amazon?
it on Amazon.com.
Okay. .com. You might want to.
And it's helped so many people. And it's a simple guide on how to be happy, even during a pandemic.
Isn't that
And
true?
basically, it's doing at least 5 things that you love to do every single day. And I end up doing 22 or 23 things that I love to do every day.
So she's inordinately happy. I mean, she's a little bit too happy.
Sometimes I'm a little too happy.
Well, you know, that happens. I see your videos that you post about your happy place and things like that, and I think they're
Yes.
very helpful and they're really good. So you're doing some coaching. I also know you do some performance coaching. Isn't that right? Do you both do it or just you, Nance?
Just me, yeah.
Okay. That's really cool. So tell us about
Teach
that.
singing virtually.
Oh,
That's really fun, actually. We do it on FaceTime usually,
wow.
sometimes on Zoom.
So if,
And I teach people how to sing better.
oh,
And
that's awesome.
they sing their favorite songs. I teach them how to support their voice. They do their favorite songs. They're able to support it. They're able to interpret a song.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
much fun.
So if someone wants to take lessons from you, can they do that? I mean, how would they do that?
Absolutely.
Tell us how they, because there might be people listening that have a child that's really talented, and you guys have walked that walk with an extremely talented son, and it might be helpful for them to learn, you know, about it. So how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in having their child take professional lessons from someone who's actually done it, not just Cindy down the street that can sing? Okay.
Well, they could go on my Facebook page,
Mhm.
and you and I are friends,
Yeah, so they
so
can,
maybe,
mhm. They can, I'll
yeah,
put it on,
and they could direct message me.
okay, so you can message her.
And I
So if you're on
could-
Facebook, you can message Nancy Daly, D-A-L-E-Y, and
That's right.
and she lives in California, and you see what she looks like, so you know you got the right one. And, or you can
Yes.
private message me if you want on my Facebook page or on the WTF page, and I'll share her information with you. So you can get coached by somebody who's professional and who has done a great job coaching your son, because I know he's done well. And then Bob,
Yes.
how about you? What are you up to now? You're working on the musical,
Well, I don't teach people, but in a sense, I do. I do a lot of directing, live theater, and I've probably directed 200 or 300 shows. They're live it's like a radio show. Old Pulp Fiction audiobooks for Author Services Galaxy Press in Los Angeles. And right now I'm actually, we haven't had a live performance for a while, obviously, but I'm working on a one that will be streaming on, I believe, I don't know what platform. They'll take care of that. Anyway, and I've done a bunch of audiobooks. I've recorded about 153 audiobooks. So got a little studio here in my house, and I do some work there. And Nancy and I, we write all the time. We're working on a new show, in addition to the one that we just put the polishing touches on. It's a show that I can actually perform in, because everything else we've written together has been all women.
Well, there you go.
I put my size 9 foot down and said, no, no. And
yeah, you don't look too good in a dress.
So Nancy and I, we will actually be able to perform it. It's about an older couple who they write together, so it's a little bit like us. It's what graphical. And I didn't want to write a quarantine musical, because I'm sure that in 6 months there's going to be 75 quarantine musicals. So, but we touch on that. They are isolated. There is illness involved, but it's not a plague.
And it's called Moonbeams.
Moonbeams. So we should look for Moonbeams.
Yes.
Because that's going to be coming out soon.
Yes.
That's awesome. So now, what else is going on now? How's your son doing? Talk a little bit about John and what he's doing. John Daly is their son. If you are familiar with many of the plays and the things that he's done, he's very well known, actually. So tell us a little bit about what he's doing.
Okay. I do this all the time. In fact, I generally, when I'm being interviewed, I talk more about John than I do about myself. This is Nancy off.
It does.
Well, we're only going to talk a little bit about John, and we're going to talk about you too, but we do have to mention him.
Oh, not a problem. John started when he was 9 years old on The Who's Tommy, and then we moved to Los Angeles. When he was cast in Freaks and Geeks, then he went on to some of the shows that you mentioned. He hasn't been performing on screen lately because he and his writing partner, the Goldstein, our son John is actually John Francis Daly, professionally.
Right.
They've been writing a great deal. Right now, well, they wrote Horrible Bosses, they wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, they wrote Game Night, which
I love that show. You were in that. I saw you. And you were in Bridesmaid, too. I saw you in that.
Yeah, I had a small part in Bridesmaid. But that had nothing to do with John. That was
you. I know.
Paul Feig's project,
That was
anyway, and now he and his writing partner are working on Dungeons and Dragons. It's going to be a huge production. I believe it's Paramount. Shot in Northern Ireland.
That's going to be great.
And in addition to that, John's wife, Corinne Kingsbury, last season had 2 shows on the air. One called Femme and one called In the Dark.
Oh, okay.
And In the Dark was picked up for 3 more seasons on CW.
Oh,
She's
great.
the creator, executive producer, writer, and
that's it too.
And and they have and she and John are producing new shows, and it's crazy.
That's exciting, isn't it, to have a whole show business family? Like, our family's kind of that way. We're the Van Krapp family singers. We can't carry a note. We call ourselves the Van Krapp family singers. Instead of, all right. Anyway, that's really exciting. So we're going to get off of John because we want to stay focused on you guys. And I know you're involved in a new project which has got to do with the networking for people who want to network professionals. Can you share a little bit about that, Nancy?
Yes.
This is Nancy's. Take it away.
This is a new social media company that's in pre-launch. It's called Be Connected.
Be Connected.
And
I'm going to read this because you're going to hold it up.
Can you see this?
See, you're not. It's called
Be. Hold it up for
Nancy Daly, NancyDaley, dot B, B-E-E, connected with a K, connected.com. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can find out about it, but tell us a little bit about it right now, Nancy. So Nancy Daly, that's D-A-L-E-Y, dot B, 2 E's, like a beady buzz, and connected with a K. .com. Okay.
Thank you, Rhonda. This is a company that a good friend of mine, Tracy Ruckchuck, who is the social media guru, and she is now the vice president of marketing for this company. But she told me about it 2.5 months ago, and Nancy, there's this new social media company that's like learning about Amazon or Google before it became Amazon or Google. And I said, okay, I want to hear about that. She said, if you get in on the ground floor before it launches, you can make amazing money, great connections, have thousands of dollars of free coaching and training from experts all over the world, and get benefits on webinars and a travel passport where you can get discounts on hotels all over the world, and an opportunity to make a passive income.
Right, and that's important as you get older.
I said,
right?
okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Once, Rhonda, pardon me, I'm just going to just step in here for a
You
second.
just step right in.
Now, once it launches, what will be the benefits to those people who subscribe to that?
So the benefits to the people who get in on the ground floor, they can make amazing money, because everybody who signs up, they get, and it's not multi-level marketing at all, but they get commissions on a 2-tier kind of platform.
Right,
where
right.
they
So it's a
can get
commission structure, but not a
money.
multi-level marketing like an Amway. It's a commission
Exactly,
structure,
because
which is better.
multi-level marketing,
Never works.
I have done maybe 5 or 6 of those, and
They don't
hey,
work.
I'm anything. This I've already made very good money
That's
on.
great.
And
The
it hasn't
commissions are
even launched,
legitimate.
so very legitimate.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's like during a pandemic, it's hard for me to make money because I'm not singing live and I'm not teaching live or even counseling people. But with this, I'm going to be earning a passive income. I'm going to be doing an online course, how to go from stress to your best.
Oh, that's
and it's
wonderful.
based on live in your happy place. So I'll be doing this online course. So this helps people achieve dreams and get money while there's a pandemic and after, because then the benefits keep pouring in.
Well, it
And
sounds
it's
great.
one of the best things I've ever done.
That's cool.
Fortunately, you didn't structure it so it only works during a pandemic.
Right.
That would be short-sighted, I think, so.
So
What was
you
on
just
the plate
keep
before the
doing it.
pandemic, I assume, and then just the pandemic kind
Oh,
of made
yeah.
it blossom a little bit because all of that stuff's blossoming right now. And we are going to change the way
Beautiful.
we are going to change the way that we do business, and I think that there's going to be some fundamental changes, and one of them is going to be how much stuff is done online and how much stuff is available through networking, because this is going to be with us for a while. So I think it's timely, and it's a really good, I looked at it, it was really interesting, and it's really good, so I'm excited. So if they want to learn more, they can go to Nancy Daly, DALEY, B as in a B, B-E-E, connected with a K.com, and learn more about that project.
Perfect.
Yeah, so, and do it, check it out,
Exactly.
what's gonna hurt, just get on there and check it out, it's gonna hurt a damn thing to check it out. Okay, now one more question with you guys, and I'm gonna have you sing another song, maybe Nancy can sing for us this time. Actually, let's just suspend the question and see if Nancy would perform for us. Bob, you can sing with her if you
I'm going to
want.
stay in the frame, though. while
You
she
stay in
sings.
there,
I'll
yeah,
sit
you just
back and be
stay in,
very
don't go
quiet.
anywhere.
I'll be
We wanna
very
look at your
quiet.
cute little face, all the girls from high school wanna see it.
You can react to what I'm saying. Okay, I'm going to do a song that we wrote together from our musical Wonderful, the one about me and my mother. And this is the last song in the show. It's called Wonderful, where my mother is actually leaving this earth. She's dying. But she's realizing there is no death. She's passing on, and
Well, it'll explain itself.
it'll explain
That's
itself.
great.
It's based on that moment when we were in the room with her, and she left her body, and we observed everything that took place. Take it away, Nancy.
Here it comes again, the wonder stars, shimmering like stars inside my heart. I knew it once before, or a million times or more. I'm coming home, where I belong. Music like the sea, it ebbs and flows. skies, filling me with love that grows and grows. I feel it everywhere, feel it sparkle in the air. Music so true, I've found my soul. Could I begin once again? I scarcely recall where I've been. Memories are fading away. Maybe I could stay. Could I make a choice who I could be? Have a different voice, yet still be me. Remember when I know, take along the glow. When I start anew, different eyes will I see, different face. Is it me? Here I go. Oh,
Oh, yay! I'm just going to clap, and that is just beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Good job. I can't wait for the musical.
you.
I think it's going to be phenomenal. It's really good.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's just stunning. Bob, you got lucky. You know that? You married up.
We got
I'll say.
that. Bob directed me in this.
Oh, did he? That's
and will
awesome.
be directing the show, yeah.
That's awesome, both of you. I'm teasing him, of course, you know.
We're fortunate we can do that.
Yeah,
Yes.
you are very fortunate you can do that. And you know what's impressive, too, is so many times in show business, couples don't make it. They don't last as long as
True.
the two of you have lasted, which is a lifetime, really, your adult life together. And I think you
No,
should
we've
be...
been married 37 years.
Yeah, and I think you should be
August 20th.
commended. It's hard enough. I mean, I saw that in radio, the years I spent in radio. It's very difficult because of the moving around and all the different people and the interactions and all of that. And I would say that in the world of show business, it's very unusual. So, you know, commend you on that, and congratulations that it's coming up in that many years. That's awesome. And so tell me, Bob, what do you think, you know, back at Arvada West, we were all in, what was it called? I forget the name that Mr. Hilf, what did he call the?
Oh, Superior
Helm.
Productions.
Superior Productions, that's right, that was our,
Mr. Helm, yeah.
Mr. Helm, that was it, yeah, I forgot, it's been so many
Yeah,
years.
that's what we called our theater group.
Yeah, Superior Productions, that was
And
the
it
name of
was an interesting, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, no, you go ahead, please.
It was an interesting group of people. Several of them went on to work further in their lives. At one point, when I was working on Broadway, there was a guy that was a year behind me, and a guy that was a few more years behind me, Mark Agnes and
Oh, yeah, I love Mark.
Hickok.
Yeah,
We were all working on Broadway at the same time, from one little high school in Arvada, Colorado. It was pretty hip.
we had a great theater department. I mean, I loved being a part of that, and it was wonderful. Of course, I never got any of the big stuff because I didn't have any talent, but but I got to be in the background. It was like, okay, you can be the old lady in the corner. Okay, fine. I'll take the crumbs. You couldn't really make it when you had 3 people that were going to be on Broadway. It was like you never had a chance. It was like, thanks. But
You were absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that Mr. Helm made us understand, is that there's no one person on the stage or backstage is more important than anybody else.
Yep.
Because it's a team effort, and without everybody, you've got nothing.
that's true. I mean, he was really a great theater teacher, as evidence. And Mark Agnes, I still keep in touch with Mark on Facebook and things, and he's a wonderful guy, too. He's out in New York, and he's been in all kinds of stuff, won an Emmy, and did some really cool things. We've had some really fun folks. Freddie, remember Freddie Santos?
Freddie Santos,
Yeah.
we did the Haunting of Hill House together.
Oh, yes, I remember that show. And he is on my Facebook page as well. And Freddie's been very successful in the Philippines. That's where he was from. I actually went to prom with Freddie. it was,
Oh, no kidding?
yeah, we all,
That's awesome.
we all went to prom, and we all went to, I think you were with that group of us, we all went up to Red Rocks afterwards and watched the sun come up, and.
That's right.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. But Freddie's been very, very successful in the entertainment world, and I mean, very well known in the Philippines, so he's got his own degree of celebrity and stardom there, and very talented. So
That's cool.
we had a lot of people in that class that went on to do some really incredible things. We were very fortunate. So what do you like the most about living in Hollywood? Because, I mean, everyone thinks it's so sexy to say you live in Hollywood or you're in there. What do you like the most about it, and what do you like the least? And I'll let you both answer that. So,
Go ahead, Nancy.
Well, we actually live close to Hollywood. We're in Shadow Hills, which
Shadow
is
Hills. Okay.
20 minutes from there.
We have is an equestrian area.
Oh, okay.
So what I love, and I mean love, about where we live, I can be doing the dishes and I look out the window and I see 5 horses.
Oh, how nice.
It's amazing. And believe it or not, yesterday,
This is great. Wait,
this is great. We're standing, we were talking to our son on Facebook Live. We were talking to him on FaceTime, I mean. And all of a sudden, how many goats?
Well, I'm talking to Nancy, and she looks at, I'm facing away from the window, and she said, 3 goats just walked by our door.
Goats.
3 goats.
And I'm not, this is our patio. This is not a street. We're 100 yards from the street. And 3 goats and a German Shepherd just trotted past our door on our patio, I mean, within 3 feet of our door. And I went outside, and they just scampered down the hill. And then eventually, I think they were lost. The dog was like their shepherd. It was really a trip.
But this kind of stuff happens all the time. We see deer on our property. We see bobcats, coyotes. I mean,
Oh, that's
We're
wonderful.
kind of in the sticks.
horses.
That's wonderful. That's
A horse wandered through one.
And as long as they don't poop on your,
It's
porch, you're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't see any notice or any evidence of
All right,
that.
good,
But
good.
the surrounding area is beautiful. There's a place called Descanso Gardens, which is one of the most beautiful places on earth, where I run every day, and it's beautiful. It's like living in the country, and yet we're
Just
20 minutes from everything.
We're 25 minutes from
Oh,
Hollywood.
that's awesome. Now, and Bob, what about you? Is that what you like about living there, or?
Yeah, it took me a long time to be converted, because I loved New York so much.
Yeah, it's
And
one
so
of my
did
favorite
Nancy.
cities.
It was, we had a hell of a career there. And then when John was cast in Freaks and Geeks, we said, okay, it's time to check it out. And fortunately, it was a good thing, because in New York, I just worked on Broadway. And I did the occasional tour or a regional show, but all I did was theater. But when we came here, I found out that it's difficult to make your living just doing theater. So I had to branch out, and so did Nancy. And that's when we really, really hit the ground running on writing together, my directing, Nancy's teaching, counseling. So
Yeah.
actually, the quarantine has changed Los Angeles quite a bit.
Oh, I bet it has,
Worst
yeah.
about Los Angeles is the traffic. And for the first couple of months of the quarantine, it was glorious on the roads. There was nobody out there.
I
And there's
bet.
no pollution.
Yeah.
No pollution.
Isn't it amazing? That's what happened here. Like, animals started being seen and coming out again,
Yes.
and it was really cool. I mean, that part the earth was healing, and that was a neat thing to see.
Rhonda, earlier you said something about this is going to change the way we do everything.
Mhm.
I'd like to expand on that a little bit.
Mhm.
I think you're absolutely right. You and I are
Yes.
of one mind on that. And it's going to change the way we do things. It's never going to be exactly the same as it was. And I think that a lot of that is good, because we're going to be relying less on travel, because we're going to find out that we can do much of what we do virtually. I believe that there probably will be less pollution as a result. These things happen for a reason. We don't always know what it is. And of course, it's incredibly tragic, but you have to look at the positive side of things as well. And I agree with you. I think there will be.
I agree. I think it's been good for families to be home and making dinner and doing things like that together, because we've gotten so far away from that in our society, and I think that's a really good thing. I had a comment here that said, what was RF's favorite show that you did on Broadway?
Sweeney Todd. I don't have to
That was
think about it.
great. I would love to
Sweeney
have
Todd is
seen
my
that.
favorite musical in the world. I think
Oh.
it's absolutely brilliant.
Me too.
Yeah, that's a good show. I bet you were phenomenal in it. What part did you
It
play,
was
Bob?
brilliant.
What did you play?
Well,
Did you play Sweeney?
Sorry?
What part did you play?
I covered Sweeney.
I thought you did, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So I played Sweeney, and I also covered a couple of other parts, but, you know, they were,
Mm-hmm.
Sweeney is the meatiest role I think that's ever been written.
Oh, it's fantastic.
He was
Yeah,
on
doesn't
stage
surprise me.
nonstop, singing nonstop, and, you know, killing people.
And you've got the right voice for it too. You've got the right depth in your voice and the right, you know, that'd be a great role for you. I could see that.
If anyone wants to hear Sweeney Todd, the original with Len Cariou, the album is out, and I think he did a better job than anybody. He was
He's
just
amazing.
Not than
spectacular.
not than you. I'm just going to say
Well,
that.
Bob was phenomenal.
I doubt anybody did better than you did.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm going to ask you guys if you wouldn't mind singing a duet now, because we've heard from. Do you know one? Are you able to do one? Are you prepared? I mean, if you're not, that's okay. I don't want you to sound dumb or something.
Yeah, we can do one. It's it gets a little loud. Now, when I was singing, did it spike a little bit when I was
A
singing?
little bit, yeah. But,
Okay, so we can back off on it.
Okay, yeah.
This is from the musical Carousel, and it is Millie Bigelow singing to Julia Jordan. All the important characters in that musical had first names and last names that started with the same letter. That's the hidden theme of Carousel. Take it away, Nancy.
Wait a minute. I have to get in the mood now.
That's what she said.
This is what I lived with for 37 years.
Yeah, good luck with that, right?
Here we go. If I loved you time and again, I would try to say all I want you to know. If I loved you, words would come in an easy way. Round in circles I'd go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me, off you'd go in the mist of day. Never, never to know I would love you if I loved you.
If I loved you, time and again I would try to say all I'd want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way. Round in circles I'd go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. So you'd leave me, off you go in the midst of day. Never, never know how I love you. If I loved you.
That was fantastic. I'm gonna do the golf clap.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Golf clap here. That was great. You guys are phenomenal. We're almost done. We've got about 5 minutes left. So I wanted to go back and say to everyone, first of all, I want to thank RF Daly and his lovely wife Nancy Daly. That's Daley, in case y'all want to look him up and follow him and those types of things. They are doing some incredible things out in California with their own career, as well as coaching others in their career and in their stress management. I know Nancy does that. So if you're interested in some virtual voice lessons or a critique, maybe you've got somebody that's got a nice voice teacher, but you'd like somebody that's walked the walk and been, performed all over, to take a listen to them and see what they think, then give her a call or go on her Facebook page and make an arrangement to hire her to do that for you. I really like the Be Connected. I think that's really an incredible new thing that's out there, and they're kind of all those people in California on the ground floor of all these techie things, and that's one of them, and it's really cool. And so again, that's Nancy Daly, Daley, dot, right? Am I right here?
Yes.
B, like a bee, not like a buzzing bee, BEE, connected with a K.com. So if you want to find out more about that, you can go there. You can keep track of their careers by following them, and they do concerts on Thursdays and Saturdays on Facebook, and you can hear them directly. If you've had bad sound today, I apologize, because if you're checking the Facebook feed, it's kind of a secondary thing. It's going around in the studio and then live. So so that may be a little bit off. So I do want to let you know, if you were on the official feed of the station, you should be fine with that. We thank them for being here. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left, so we're just going to chat a little bit about some of the upcoming things going on. So is there anything else going on we didn't cover that you wanted to shout out or tell about? Or they're just looking at each other.
Crickets.
No.
Crickets.
Crickets. Okay, that's good for an interview.
It's not really new things. We will continue to do what we're doing.
Right.
We're very fortunate in the fact that we can work together. Like any couple, we have our knockdown and drag out fights, but they don't last very long.
No.
We get the car, and then we're fine.
I think it's important to fight.
Little dogs bark at each other.
I think it's important to
But then
fight.
we're fine.
Yeah.
But we can work together really well. So we write 3 or 4 hours every day.
That's awesome.
And
That's awesome.
we sing together twice a week, as you say.
Yeah, and it's
That's
really
7
cool.
o'clock Pacific time on Facebook Live.
Tonight.
Yeah,
we're
tonight,
doing one
actually.
tonight.
One tonight.
Yeah, do it tonight. And you can go on and I think you can go on and make a donation too, because I know it's hard when you're not performing, because you can't perform
Sure.
right now.
You can tip
So-
us.
You could if you
Yeah,
want to.
if you can tip them if you want to. It's
Happy
pretty,
to sing for free too.
I know you are. I know you guys do so many wonderful things, and it's really great to get to visit with you this way, because like I said, usually it's at a holiday and everybody's together for just a few minutes and there's tons of people. One of the memories I have, which I thought was so fun, Steve, his brother, is also performed on Broadway, and his wife, and am I correct on that, right? And Chessie, my oldest daughter, was at the time in junior high, and you guys were all at Debbie's house, and you probably don't remember this, but she remembers it vividly, and she had gotten the part of the baker's wife in Into the Woods. And she went in, and somehow or another we talked about it, and all of a sudden, it was Steve, his wife, I think you, Nancy, and I'm not sure if Bob did it, just erupted into the actual show and just started doing all the songs and performing everything. And Chessie was like, oh, I can never be that good. I said, honey, they're professionals. You just have to get on stage at Drake and don't worry about it. But she still talks about it. She says, remember when we were at Debbie's house and all those people just jumped up and started performing? It was always fun, always fun.
One of the hazards of having a piano in your house.
Yeah. Well, I just got a baby grand, and I am just thrilled with it. It's 101 years old, and oh, it's stunning. It's in mahogany. Everything is in the original condition. It's in perfect shape. And
that's wonderful.
A lady in the neighborhood had gotten older and didn't have anybody that wanted it, and she just wanted to go to somebody that would love it. And I said, well, I can't play for crap, but I could sure do chopsticks on a baby grand like nobody's business. So I got the piano, and I'm just thrilled with it, and I've been learning songs. I know 5 songs really good now. So and I just do it by ear, because so I just sit there and pick them out until I figure it out, but it's been really fun. So,
If I may, Rhonda, I've been aware of your career for many, many years, and my sister Debbie and I talk about it, but also I've followed you, and everyone in our family is so proud of you, so proud of what you've done and what you continue to do. You're a terrific interviewer, and you're very, very good at your job. It's nice to work with real pros.
well, thank you. I appreciate it. And it's just good to see your face. And so are you coming out anytime soon to home to visit?
We're not traveling anywhere for a while.
Well, that's what I figured. Neither are we. We're just kind of hanging out there. Well, we appreciate everything. Once again, we're going to sign off now. I'm going to go back to the music on KUHSdenver.com. You've been listening to the WTF. This is Rhonda Shea, and my guests today have been RF Daly, That's D-A-L-E-Y, and Nancy Daly, D-A-L-E-Y, and you can check out her book. What is the name of that book again? Your book, Nancy? Oh, we froze a little bit here, so we're just going to keep talking while we freeze. There, she's back. What is the name of your book, hon?
Live in Your Happy Place.
Live in Your
On
Happy
Amazon.
Place. And it's on Amazon.com. All kinds of stuff. They're just into everything. I love people that do lots of stuff. It's cool. All right. Thank you for being my guest. And I'm gonna switch the music right now, and then we'll get off the Facebook feed in just a second. So I'm gonna pull the music back up. And
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Thank you. All right, let's see if we can. Oops, that's the wrong button. Henry trusted me. He shouldn't have. There we go.